Hello and thank you for joining our broadcast. We'd like to inform you that we'll be moving at the end of the lockdown to a new venue. Please check out the details on the screen. We look forward to seeing you there. We want you to be part of our family, and God bless you. Good evening and welcome to the Grace Talk, brought to you by High Grace Church International. My name is Morendo Makuvela, and I'd like to welcome you to our very special show where I have three very special ladies with me who will be discussing gender-based violence under this lockdown. Thank you so much, ladies. I'd like to start with you, Ruth. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Okay, my name is Ruth Munagamsira, and I'm a survivor of trauma and abuse. I have worked several years in the department, and then I ended up opening a foundation because of the trauma that I went through in my journey, in my life. I'm a survivor of gang rape. I've lost few members of loved ones, and I've been bankrupt. I've been emotionally, financially abused, and I've been in and out of hospital due to depression. So what I do, I mentor people, I counsel people, I do inspirational talks based on my personal experiences so that I can help other people who are going through what I went through, so that they are not a victim anymore. They must be able to overcome what they went through. I'm under Higher Grace International, and I'm a mentor. I'm a leader of mentoring group at church, where we help women that have been abused and that have gone through traumatic experiences as well, where we help them to show that at the end of the tunnel, there's still, life. That whatever they're going through, they're not alone, we're with them. So that we give them support structure where we can help where we can, so that they don't die alone or go through what we went through.
Okay, thank you very much. And yourself?
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Nombulelo Sepe. I'm a gender-based violence researcher. I started this when I was doing my master's in nursing. I continued with it when I was doing my PhD in community nursing science. I focused among raped women. My title was developing the guidelines to assist those women who have experienced rape. Thank you.
Can you tell us about yourself, please?
Thank you. I'm Dr. Pastor Chilizina Budana. I'm a pastor of Higher Grace Church International. I also did research on gender-based violence, particularly focusing on intimate partner violence in Pentecostal churches. The reason I started this is because most of the people will come to church from different areas. Because when I stopped working for the Department of Health, where I worked for 29 years, I was just going to church nearly every day, so people would just come from different areas and walks of life. They started to talk about things that I've gone through, abuse in Christian homes, and it was like, oh, these things are happening. Then I ended up thinking of doing something about it, because sometimes in life you meet people who will ask you, after masters, what are you doing? And I said, I tried to do doctorate, pre-doctoral program, but I'm no longer interested because I'm no longer in nursing. So this person started to ask me, but what are you doing every day? I said, most of my time I spent in church, counseling people and all that, and said, you can write something about it. And I ended up finding that I need to write something that we don't usually talk about. I decided to do guidelines that will help church leaders on how to support people who are being abused by their husbands in the Christian homes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As I said before, we will be discussing gender-based violence during this lockdown. Dr. Sipeng, I'd just like you to give us an overview of what sexual violence is or gender-based violence is, as well as how it relates to your study.
Okay, thank you very much. Firstly, gender-based violence research in layman's language, it means two people are together and the other one is abusing the other person. Simple as that.
Okay.
And it also means there are types of gender-based violence. Like I said, I was focusing on rape. Let me just give a little brief about the overview of gender-based violence during this lockdown period. There are over 120 cases that are reported to date. And when you read, because of I will continue to read about gender-based violence, of which is something that I like, they said this statistics has declined. But as the researcher, I'm asking myself, is this the true reflection of what is happening? Because we have issues regarding underreporting, whether there is lockdown or not. So now I think it is even worse because people are locked at home with their perpetrators. So hence I'm asking myself, is it a true reflection or not? So again, this gender-based violence is more common among women and children. Yes, men are also affected, but most of the people who come forward are women and children.
Okay, so can you tell me what the effects of sexual violence are to those that are obviously victims?
Okay, people who have experienced gender-based violence, mostly they are going through pain. Or maybe I should say this gender-based violence affect their psychological well-being, their physical well-being, and their emotional well-being. And they are also different on how they respond. It depends on the reaction of the person. We should also take into consideration their personal identity or their characteristics or their personality also counts. Others decide to come forward, others decide to stay away for some time. But for us to see these effects, others prefer to express themselves from the onset go, others decide to keep quiet. Those who express themselves, they can cry, they can isolate themselves. You can see this change in behavior. When we are seated like this as family members, then the person starts to she decides to stay alone. That's his isolation. And then they can also start to drink alcohol. Suddenly there's this thing of drinking alcohol. And then they also, even if they don't say, when they go to the healthcare system, they have this thing of telling you that they are daydreaming, they have nightmares. When they see this thing happening again when they are sleeping.
Tell me what would you say is the reason that rape is so prevalent in South Africa?
As we are seated here, rape is so prevalent in South Africa because of it's a silent topic. As much as I say it is high among women and children, everything that involves acts of sexual intercourse, it might be a taboo. We don't normally talk about issues that involves acts of sexual activities, starting from our homes, going to the church, and as well as the community. So victims or survivors, it becomes hard for them to come forward and say, I am raped. Other issues is rape myth. We tend to believe that other people had to go through when a person comes forward, we tend to judge the person, we look at the person, and then we make conclusive statements to say, okay, this one had to go through this process.
Can you give us an example of that, please?
Okay, let's say you come in and then you say you are raped. We ask questions like, where were you when this thing was happening? Did you scream? Did you look for help? Anything that you have done with a person without consenting, we call it gender-based violence, or we call it rape, like I was focusing on rape. You need to consent to do that activity with the person. So we shift the focus. We want to find reasons why this thing has happened to you.
Okay. Can you tell us what the effect is on victims' relatives?
This thing affects the survivor, their families, their relatives, and the community at large. Just to make an example, when people in the community find out that this person was raped, they respond differently. They can decide to kill the perpetrator, or they can decide to judge the person. So their families are also going through pain. They can also become angry. They can also become helpless. They don't know what to do. Yes, our child is raped. What is it that we can do to help her? Because of going, like I said, it is not an easy topic to talk about. When you go to your parents and tell them, this is the situation, at times they don't even know what to say. They keep quiet. Your brothers, your sisters, they also become angry. They feel helpless. They feel that they have failed you in many ways. They feel that if we were there to assist this person, and at times they keep quiet. They can even buy people to kill the perpetrator because of what she did. And when these effects of rape experiences are affecting them, either talking about it or not, decided not to talk about it, they have the tendency of wanting to revenge. The revenge is so dangerous because of they might end up facing the legal how can I put it? The legal processes.
Yes.
Because of what has happened to this person. And at times they might be tempted to take over, not asking the person how the person feels. They feel that they own the situation. They take over, they decide what to do. And then they can also name the person during the process. They can even call you a concubine. This thing was supposed to happen to you because we always tell you that stay at home. If you didn't go and visit so and so, this thing could have not have happened to you.
Or if you didn't dress a certain way.
Yes, those are the issues.
Okay, thank you very much. Ruth, you said in your intro that you are a survivor of rape, gang rape to be specific. Can you please tell us more about your personal experiences with regards to sexual violence?
Okay, I'll just tell you a little bit how it happened. I was with my boyfriend and it was very late, around 11. So we're sitting in his car, it was hot, and these three guys just came out of the blue wearing barrack gloves. So they had guns and they threatened my boyfriend and they asked him to take off his clothes. He did. And then I think they were looking for something in the car, but they didn't find it because the car didn't start. So they ended up taking me instead. So they ran with me to the bushes, and then where they raped me, they exchanged with me. There were three. But funny enough, I didn't cry. I think I was in shock But after the whole thing happened, this other one said, because you didn't cry, you didn't scream, we're not gonna kill you. So you can go where your car is. Then I did that. When I arrived there, that's when I realized I was just raped. Then I started crying, and my boyfriend was coming, and he says, Ruth, and the police came. I think he went and called the police as well. When they came, they asked me, we have to go to the police station. And then I'm asking for what? As Dr. Sipeng said, I refused because I didn't see the reason why I must go and report it, because they were wearing barrack gloves. That's the first reason.
Okay.
And I didn't want people to know my story because I felt embarrassed. I felt like, why did it happen to me? And I felt like people will judge me and people will blame me for what happened. So I kept quiet for 16 years. I was raped in 1996. I talked about it. I started talking about it 2013.
May I ask why did you only start talking about it so many years later?
I was scared because I didn't know how people would react. And I felt like it's my secret. I'm the only one who knows about it. So I won't be judged, I won't be blamed. I didn't want people to look at me like I'm dirty. You know, I felt like I'm dirty. I felt like they've taken something away from me. So I wanted to be normal like everybody else. Because if I tell someone, someone will tell someone. Meaning that people are going to talk about me. That she's what. So I didn't want that. I wanted it to be my problem alone.
Okay. And so, since you've become vocal about these experiences, how have you found that talking about it and coming out about this has helped other women? Or what are you doing to help other women or other people that have experienced what you've experienced?
Talking about it helps because the more you talk about it, something offloads. At the beginning, I used to cry when I speak about it. But now I can talk and laugh about it. I can watch a movie about rape and I don't cry. And I got to understand that it was not my fault because I blame myself. I even thought that maybe if I was not there 11 o'clock at night, I would have been raped. I got to understand and learn that it's not about me. It's about those people. Those people are the ones that are cruel. They're the ones that are abusing, that have abused me, not the other way around. So there's a lot of people that are quiet like me. And when I talk about it, someone comes and say, "Yo, Ruth, can you help me with 1, 2, 3? I've been through the same situation and I haven't told anyone." The other time there was this woman that came after I shared my story at church. She's a woman. She was, I think she was 60 something. She was raped by 6 men. And she never told a soul. And she was raped when she was young. Can you imagine? And she was crying and saying, "Yo, Ruth, this thing has been killing me." And I accused everybody who was around me. So talking about it helps. The minute you come out and say, "Yo, this is what I've gone through, help me," then we help the poor person. And we show them the way to deliverance. Because as church, as Higher Grace Church mentorship, we try and show these people that either men, we deal with men and male and female. If you have gone through something like this, there must be deliverance. That's where I involved Mom Children, the pastor of the church, to say, "Mommy, this person wants prayers. I've helped them the way I could. According to my experiences, they're okay. They've accepted the situation. Now they want the armor." The armor meaning that Mommy will come and say, The biblical way is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And she helps you to arm yourself with the scriptures so that you arm yourself, and then that thing won't kill you anymore.
Okay. Can you tell us more about this mentorship program that you are involved in?
Okay, we it's myself and the other lady who's the vice. So we have a group of women under us at church. Different, it's women that are feeling confident that they can help mentor other women.
Okay.
So each woman has a group of young ladies under them. Even if it's not a young lady, but a married woman who feels like they can mentor someone, they can still fall under somebody. And then these people, when they have challenges, any other challenge, they can go to their mentor and say, I've got a funeral at home, my mother passed on, can you help me to deal with this? We come in there, we help them. And then if someone has survived rape or any other situation that is traumatic, we just, in other words, it's just to say, we are here. You are not alone. You cannot die alone. We are here for you. You don't have to do this alone. We are here. Come, we'll assist you. Where I can't, I'll refer them to mommy. Where mommy can't, she'll refer them until they are properly healed.
Okay.
Yes.
Pastor Chirizi, can you just give us more insight into what the role of the church is when it comes to issues of abuse, violence, trauma, and any other issue that church members or even the general public are dealing with?
Okay, thank you. Maybe let me start where I ended during the introduction. I said a lot of people, even couples from many other areas, walks of life, they just happened to come to me during the time when I was there, just sitting there thinking like, that time when you just leave your job because God wants you to do something and you don't understand those things that God says you must do. And you stay there and people just come, they just come to the church and they start to talk to you or phone you. I started to realize that, people need help. I realized Christians are suffering in silence because we want to come in there looking like all is well. As husband and wife, others come hand in hand. And there is this picture where even we as pastors, they think all is well because we come there, we sit together in front and all is well, and the people think all is well. So they cannot even start to share if you are not there to make them understand that these are problems and we need to be doing something about it. In the research that I did, I developed guidelines that will help the pastors, leaders in the church to know what to do, because in my research we find that a lot of pastors have not even gone through normal education systems. They are called, or in their colleges they never did anything related to gender-based violence. Maybe others just did something about traumatology and nothing more was taught on how to deal with these issues. So as a church, Higher Grace International, we realized we've got this as a call, like we take it like it's a call that people are there, they are suffering. And we realized that in that research, a lot of women were complaining that pastors are not doing enough, and that pained me. Because some will say, they'll say that you guys, you pretend like life is like a bed of roses and there will not be problems. And as a pastor, I felt the pain that maybe we are not open enough and we don't use our pulpits to speak about these things. You can imagine it's only in Women Month, like it's now a Woman Month. Maybe if the churches were open, we're going to be talking, this is a Woman Month, well, this and this and that. That is not enough because People are dying in the church. To give you just one example, it's not only, maybe we think maybe it's only church members. Pastors' wives are dying out there. I remember I met some few women who are pastors' wives who attempted murder. I mean, not murder, attempted suicide. It shows that things are tough. It's not only people who are out there thinking maybe pastors' wives, people in the church are better. I think this is an elephant in the room. And we need to start talking about it.
Yeah.
So as Higher Grace, you are saying, we are available. You can see Dr. Speng is here. She knows what she's doing as far as sexual violence is concerned. Ruth is there. She is a survivor. So we are there. There is Pastor Ruthani. She is doing premarital counseling, and a lot of women are helped there. And we are also inviting young girls. When we do the mentoring thing she talked about, we bring even young people, because we want them to know, to understand, to speak out. Because our culture is also another thing. Church is worse, religion is worse. So we need to open up. And as Higher Grace, we are opening up and we are saying, whether a man, something is happening, you need to do it. I remember when the pastors were saying, yeah, we need these things, but how can you go as a man? Because most of the participants, when I was also interviewing pastors, were men. So these pastors will say, do you want to tell me that if my wife beats me, I'll go to the police station and report? I cannot.
Yeah.
And they will say, even if we are counseling other people, the men also come and say, hey, Bafunzi, we are suffering. Our wives are not treating us well. And if a man is beaten up, you can imagine him running to the police station. The other pastor said to me, the other man said, Bafunzi, look at me. If I go to the police station, they will say, I'm not a man, I'm supposed to be wearing skirts.
Yeah.
So it's a very sensitive issue, but let's speak out. Our host was speaking with Ruth, Ruth was saying, we let people speak out. So we are doing that as Higher Grace. And we are saying, we are also doing something. All of us here, as you see us, even including Pastor Rosa, we are doing advanced course in counseling with UNISA, because we cannot know everything. Because when we are pastors, the people say, you say no divorce. When we come to you, why do you want to divorce your husband? Why are you doing this? Why are you running away? So maybe let me just say a little thing, that most of the women don't want to leave their abusive partners because of the children. And most of the women maybe are dependent upon their partners, and they don't want to do that. But the other thing is that the society thing, that if you don't stay there, you are called a returned soldier. And you are labeled somehow that it's not good enough, maybe you are not well brought up on that. And if I can go home now and say to my mother, who is 84 years old now, and say, I'm back, I don't want to go back, the first question will say, are they not buying food for you? Yeah. Is there not a house there? That's what you are driving cars. Why are you coming? So people tend to hide the pain. And I've seen even in the young girls and young women, they just want to maintain the status of being married. Yeah. And us as pastors are always accused to say, you are saying, do not divorce, do not divorce, do not divorce. And I mean, it was happening even before the time of Jesus. During the time of Moses, people were divorcing. So, I mean, it's your choice. Do you want to stay there when you are dying, when you don't have life? Do you want to go there every day? They show you a knife or whatever. It's your choice. But we are saying we are available as Higher Grace International. Come, let's share these things together. We've got people who have gone through stuff, who can speak to you. We've got pastors We are always 24 hours available if you need help.
Okay, thank you very much. As we come to a close, I'd just like each of you ladies to just give us what you feel should be done in your specific area. What more can be done to help those that are suffering right now? As you know, this lockdown has been very difficult on a lot of people. And so, what would you say can be done? What needs to be done to assist women, or what can the church do, or whatever position that you can speak in for us, please. I'll start with you.
Thank you. If people can be confident enough to come forward, the world will be a better place. Because the minute you come forward, you are relieving yourself of the pain. It's not about the other person, it's about you. And we need to learn to forgive. The other thing that is killing us is forgiveness. Because you go through 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a pity we can't avoid what we go through. The challenges of life will always be there. Even in the beginning of they were there. But what do we do after you have been traumatized is the core. So you need to speak up. You need to find someone that you trust. You don't have to trust anyone. There are people that you'll go to, and then they'll accuse you, or they'll blame you, or they'll judge you. But you need to find someone that you trust. You need to have that person that if I call this person 12 o'clock, she'll pick up a phone. There was another time that I was having a problem, a serious one. I was, as I said, I was in and out of hospital due to depression. Then I called her. It was 1 o'clock. I think it was to 1. And I even wonder what made her pick up my call that time, midnight. And after that, I slept peacefully because she prayed for me. Meaning that you have to have someone, because if you feel you can't breathe, you can't take it, then make a step, call someone. That person will help you through the situation you are going through. And we are there to help where we can.
Okay. Doctor?
Okay, thank you. My take-home message will be, I agree with Ruth and Pastor Tilly that you need to have someone. And I'm happy that Higher Grace is doing something. These systems must be known to people. It shouldn't be like it's Mother's Day month. People must know about these things, that they are there in the church, and we must talk about them when there is no sexual violence, when there is no gender-based violence. People must know a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship looks like this, and a bad relationship looks like this. We shouldn't wait that people must come forward. If we open platforms, if we talk about these things, when there's nothing, people will come forward. Yes, It won't be easy. Like I said, it also depends on the personality of the person. And it's having those people that you can confide to them, opening platforms, making the numbers available for people to know who to talk to, about what and at what time. And we should also develop the skill. People can come having the same problem, but we should also know that they are different. And healing process is also different. Each and every case must be treated differently. Last thing but not least, as people, we have our shortcomings. I also want to say, I like the fact that she's referring. As a church, we should also do something that we call transdisciplinary approach. If we are limited, we should tell people that there's Tutuzela Care Center. We cannot deal with pregnancy issues in the church when we are raped. We cannot deal with issues that needs you to open the case regarding that person. So we should be We should deal with the spiritual issues,
Mm.
issues of faith and hope. That is how we are socialized as Christians, that we are socialized as people of, let's have hope,
Yes.
faith and whatever. But there are also issues, physical issues
Mm.
that needs people. Healthcare system is
Yes.
there. Legal system is there to
Police.
assist.
Yes.
Yes, so we should be open enough. We are not a jack of all trades.
Yes.
We should be open.
I think
To
I'd
such
also want to
things.
say that the church is not an island. It cannot
Yes,
survive on its own.
it cannot. So I can deal with the psychological impact, the physical and the emotional while the baby is growing
Mm.
inside
Mm.
the woman who's raped.
Mm.
And maybe she decides not to talk about it. We see it later.
Mm.
And if she reports that I am raped, I can say go to Tutuzela, they will do pregnancy tests, they will give whatever
Mm.
to prevent pregnancy, so that that person doesn't even go to an extent of aborting a child, which it can haunt her for the rest of her life.
Mm.
So hence I'm saying when we are dealing with these people, you should be open.
Mm.
You should be able, the most critical skill that we need, you should learn to listen to a person.
Mm.
Whether you are having the experience
Mm.
of being a researcher or dealing with these people, or maybe referring to Sis Ruth's situation, we should learn to listen to a person.
Mm.
The main focus is to help this person. At the end of the time, or the end of the day, this person must express him or herself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Dr. Chidi, can you just give us just some closing comments, please?
Thank you. I would like to say to couples out there, mothers, parents, I'm saying let's start to socialize our children at a young age. Let's get used to them. We must allow them to talk to us. I have taught my children to talk to me, and they were not comfortable at first. I'll ask them, who are they dating? I'll ask them everything. I remember I went out with my other daughter for a date, and she was so embarrassed because I wanted to see who this guy is. And people laugh about it. It's good because you need to know what is happening in your children's life. Don't just see difficulties at the end and say, but it's because you do want to do like what Ruth said. Maybe you walk during the night and you do that. Let's talk to our people. And I love it in Higher Grace that they have got shows that when we talk to them also, and we behave like them, we dress like them. Whatever they do, we are there. I mean, you can see sometimes I just whatever they wear, I wear like they wear. And I look at myself, I say, yeah, I'm old. But I want them to feel at home, to can speak whatever they go through. So I'm saying, parents, I know culture and this religion of ours make us not want to open up with our children, and we blame them. And most of the things we have gone through ourselves. We must not behave like we never had boyfriends and maybe many boyfriends before we got married, and now when we are married we suddenly became angels. So let's talk to our children, and our children will be safe. And God bless you.
Just to add something, if the survivor is giving you the permission, remember I cannot just refer without the permission. You can also involve the family if they know, because obviously they are hating whatever they are. And you can take one step further with the person while they are pulling him or her backwards. So they should be brought on board and deal with it.
And give that support.
Yes. Support them, and then also teach them in the process. If this one is raped, please be there for the person. Also deal with their anger, frustrations and everything. They shouldn't own the problem. You remember Ruth said she felt like she's responsible. They might also be feeling the same way that they are responsible. Maybe as parents we failed our child, we didn't take good care of him or her if we were there, things like that. So
all our viewers, thank you again for watching. Thank you to the ladies that were here with me in studio. Remember to keep sanitizing, wash your hands for 20 seconds and more, wear your mask, and God bless you.